One and all, he's here to save your pub games. That's right. Every once in a while, you forget to ban the maps and you find yourself on one that might have a bit of fish. And whenever there is fish, whenever there is water, Knights Templar are the irrefutable kings in Age of Empires 4. Makes sense. They got their ass kicked so many times in the Middle East and had to keep sailing back. The problem is, in the game, it does not seem fair. So B on the Order of the Dragon is going to try to solve that up against Team Elephant's very own Louis MT, the highest ranking player in China. And he's going to do so with a Dark Age Spear Rush. Yeah, we've seen, this is the funky thing about Knights Templar. There are some very powerful civs that people try to find a way of contesting water. But in the last week, we've only had a handful of Holy Land games, but if Knights Templar gets through, people's immediate reaction seems to be, okay, let's try and kill him with land units. So Gilded Spear is going to make his way across towards the dock. Tricky part is the counterplay to this is actually very easy. It's that you just pull a transport ship and build a dock over here. We'll have to see if Louis MT feels pressured enough to do that. If he was going to do it, his timing is already off because the Gilded Spearman hits like an elephant that is very clearly on hallucinogenics. Yeah, like 10 damage. It means 5 hits to kill. So Louis will have to walk all the way home. It's a long walk. He should be able to make it just before he dies. Probably takes 2 more strikes. Fix mana from being boring. Make them supply 1 resource where you can toggle. No, I think manas just need to be designed in a way that you can't build them in your base. I think manas should have an overlap effect like Hunted Cabins, or even to a further extreme. If you build manas near other buildings, it should function a little bit like disturbing the peace for a meditation garden. Like you lose resources for other things being nearby. Because the logic is that, like, you know, the mana oversees the farms and whatever, like, you know, cultivates the land. There's other buildings there, they can't do that. Makes sense as well. Like, you know, games exist without logic. Like, for example, Anno has it where your farm areas, if you put things in them, other than like the wheat fields or whatever, it decreases your output. Anyway, B has increased his output to a 2nd spear here. He is now going for the docks. Burn should be quick enough here, right? If he commits the spearman, sure. But B's up to something. What's he doing here? This is very expensive, actually, taking one of these spears like this. In terms of timing, because surely Louis, I think you can actually find a tech timing quick enough to save the dock here. It's tricky. So Torch does 18 damage. You attack every 2 seconds. So that's going to be 180 first. 540 damage? Is that correct? Yeah, 540 damage across the tech window. So then you are down to, what, 700? And another 25 seconds. I'm pretty sure the galley can get out just in time to save the dock. He might set it on fire, but the spearman is based on RNG, whether he gets that deep. Okay. So dock online, B has not added fishing boats in. That's now only starting. He's already got 1 out compared to the 3. Seem to be 4 here. Tricky thing is whether these spears are going to be able to deny pilgrims on land as well. They are pretty decent, but obviously a little bit slow. The other problem usually is that, you know, how do you actually guard multiple locations with gilded units? There's not many of them. The good news is obviously the split of sacred sites. I just don't think 1 gilded spearman should be good enough to get a pilgrim kill. Maybe if you intercept it really early. The reason I'm talking a lot about pilgrims is the part that makes Knights Templar truly insane on water. Like, the other details already set up a foundation for it to be a dominant force, like the efficiency around wood gathering. When you add in the ease of pilgriming, that's where this civ just rockets out of the stratosphere. Louis, this is interesting. He actually sacked the dock. He didn't go for the archer ship. And Gilded Spearmen have higher damage than standard Torchbearers. So I think standard Torchbearers are either 11 or 12 damage in Dark Age, whereas all the Dragon units are 18. So he has snuck that 2nd dock. Not the end of the world for him, but a little bit surprised he actually gave it over instead of just building an archer ship. For good reason, though. Louis MT is worried about those pilgrims. He opens archers here. Interesting. Yeah, because this has a ripple effect now. B started this by making it about land. Louis is just looking to finish it that way. It secures the pilgrimage. It then also lets you counter raid. And it means that you can just kind of inherently, for free, bloat your fishing further because your opponent's going to be forced to likely transition land units into something else like men-at-arms or horsemen here. Question about Ai versus Sushi. What's the best wing and game plan most of the time? Just mass horsemen? Was Iobits against Sushi? Horsemen should do pretty well, yeah. I think, like, usually against that, it's dependent on spawn. If you get a back gold, you probably can finesse, like, a tech up. But I'd say against, like, Chug, the most underrated thing is, like, if there's a Chug all-in, it's going to have Spearman as well. So the underrated play, because you're already defensive, is Golems in those situations. Oh, ship is now on the way. Louis, he's just done it in a crafty fashion. Kind of tried to make it hidden here. The reaction, you can't go men-at-arms. Yeah, he knows. You have to go stables. And men-at-arms will just get kited by the archers. Might as well get something that you pay the same price for, but can actually chase things down and even raid afterwards. So it's going to be Archer on the tree line. Archers aren't going to try to contest. You can see, like we talked about, for Louis, it's just about securing the pilgrims, which he's already doing. Transforms into boat. Chugga, 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 chugga. I kind of wish we were like a steampunky game. I don't know why. Like the idea of this ship just seems cooler to me. More logical with like a little exhaust fume on the back. There we go. 130 gold in the bank. Archer ship. Let's go check in. B, already a step ahead, does have the sprung ship, so Louis will have to just retract away. But he's happy with that. If B's not going to attack him, this is perfect, because it means you just keep getting pilgrims. And you're really seeing what makes Knights Templar kind of absurd on water. At this point, he should be 4 worker units down. He's not. And it's courtesy of the fishing. Like, fishing count right now, it's 8 to 6. B has closed the gap a bit, but... You know, it's why I rate Knights Templar really strongly on maps like Rocky River. Or even better, like Dry River. Kawasan, etc. It's the fact that one of the big balance points is meant to be, although they get feudal quickly, they do it at a big cost of worker count. Whenever you add in water, there is no cost. Just use your secondary TC, i.e. the docks. Thank goodness they did at least fix the French commandery. For some reason, the French commandery was actually increasing the production rate of boats, including fishing boats, which made no sense. Rack's Regiment of Louis. Okay, so yeah, just going to hunker down. I mean, he needs it if he wants to try and protect the pilgrims. Because the way the pilgrims move, they are exposed on land for quite a bit. Love this from B, however. Gilded Archers at a quite early point. It does mean he's sacking water. Louis MT is bulking for a push. I always find understanding macro and hybrid maps very difficult. Well, that's because I think there's a lot of extra strategies to be explored. And we're even seeing it here. Like, this is very different in the approach to what you'd normally see. The thing I say to people in these environments is you just have to be more explorative and playful. So do you guys want to know like the biggest difference between you fighting on the ladder in a game and a pro? You're probably busy thinking, how do I win? And the pro is like, or rather, better way of putting it, you're busy thinking, what is the meta build I should do? And the pro's like, what interesting experiment can I like concoct here? The best pros are like quite often the ones that trip over themselves the most. Because they're going through things that don't work to figure out things that do work. Or they're taking things that do work and trying to finesse them to be more optimal. Yeah, I just say like in general, I think, especially with water for like the average player, taking a playful approach would probably make the experience more endearing. You're not always going to be right, but even when you're not right, the process is going to loop through quicker than normally it would. As in, you'll be done faster. Nice interception there by B, though. Does deny the pilgrims. Louis is squaring up on water, but he needs to be faster about this. He's feeling the pain a little. B already able to extract that pilgrim kill, slows down the gold count, which means Louis MT's boom ship count not as desirable as it should be. Gilded Archers are going to go into the clash, but the Horsemen really are the MVP here to try and take it strong. Meanwhile, Louis MT makes his way towards the fishing economy. B, he's only got a single demo ship to work with here. MT will go for the dive in, and B, only one archer ship to protect with. It's going to be difficult. Does keep the Hulk alive. Pilgrim, in the meantime, is going to be hot on land. A triple demo pump now coming from Louis MT. This has to hit. He's starting to feel a little bit of pressure on the land side. I think B, maybe the Horseman just kind of contesting the wrong target there on the dive. Did cost him more than he liked. You find on land, you find on water. Yeah, but in that regard, the thing I'd say is, while there's more points for you to fail, there's more points for other people to fail. And guys, like really, the biggest thing we try to emphasize here, we're about it in the low elo legends, we're about it when we analyze at the highest level. It's okay to fail. It's natural. No one's perfect. Even more so with the mess that is demo ships right now. The cascade effect, if one of them triggers, it's going to half HP the others. Gotta be very careful of that. Nice intercept there, B. Did nice on the docks. We'll start burning it a little bit. Unlikely he can hang here. But Louis, what happened? It felt like he had such a good position. All of a sudden, B, now with the Springald lead, pushes him away. Not just that, starting to stockpile some resources in reserve. I wonder, is there a world in which he tries to sneak castle? He has good map control, both on land and sea now. So remember, when he plays this forward up, both Pilgrim slots, both Pilgrim options are blocked. Demo denial. B. Careful, boy. He just dives for this. Oh my god. He used it against him. Even my brain forgot for a second. That demo ship kill just sunk Louis' fleet. The cojones on this buzzard. If a bee had balls this big, it wouldn't be able to get off the ground with its wings. That's ridiculous. I can't believe what he just done there. The perfect amount of Springald shots to use the demo against him. Landside B does have to back away, but an advantage now creeping. It's 8 Springald ships just a free. And this is why the demo ships change has to stay, in my opinion. It makes the game so much better. Maybe it should be half damage only instead of full damage, but still, I think that's the thing that's missing the demo balance. I hate when people like nerf demos, make them weaker. That's a lame response. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it how it is. It's okay to have things that are ridiculously powerful as long as they have trade-offs. You know? Like, why aren't the Teutonic Knights crazy? Because they are insanely slow, so they can be tanky and get more health and have a debuff armor. Same with demo ships. You know, if they're going to be impactful and blow up a fleet, they should have a negative to them. Unless if you misuse them, they'll abuse you. What is the abuse happening on this map right now? With the poor little KT. Knights Templar underpowered, need buff question? No, I'm not going to go there. Dive in towards the gold, but the outpost is going to allow him to stabilize here. Chevalier Concret, no match for the Gilded Boys. And on the water side, you can see it feels like a losing battle now. Louis MT has got a demo coming through. Fortunately, B did not target fire that down. That would have hit multiple fishing boats as well as Springalds. So B a little bit distracted on land. We'll realize what he's done there and have to retreat. He's still holding reserves. Something that Louis is lacking. Springald ships could actually get the snipe here on the Pilgrim. Not going to be quick enough, though. Yeah, you need to not hit with the archer ship first, and then immediately hit with Springalds. Because remember, when you hit Pilgrims, they run. So they move quicker. Demos. Whoa, whoa, Louis. Hold. No, care. Oh! Oh my... That is surely it. Louis MT just obliterated half of his Springalds. I can't believe this keeps happening. That's ridiculous, B. That's a tech up right there. And this game is a reminder that demo ships function in this way is so much better. Oh my god, the stakes feel high on either side. Demos become a strategic element that needs to be wielded the right way. Insanity. B doesn't have strats, he just freestyles. Yeah, he's very transitional. He might have an idea going into the game, but it never sticks to the script. B is a very big believer in the idea that a good plan never survives first contact with the enemy. And he wields that better than almost any player in Age of Empires 4. Sometimes it gets a little bit crazy. But you know what's that saying? The line between crazy and genius is very thin. So the worker ship is getting intercepted, so nice. A pilgrim going through. They're able to retreat successfully with the age up now complete. All he needs is those upgrades! This is ridiculous! It keeps happening! It doesn't even feel forced anymore. I can't believe this, man. Louis MC on the unkillable Civ on water is on the verge of losing to a Civ that seems to have just been thrown into the forest alone ever since Pro Scouts got nerfed. All the Dragon's value to a lot of players declined after the changes with Season 10. But B finds a way to make them not just feel relevant, but lethal on water. Insanity. Louis MT needs damage now. He's looking for it on land. B is a little bit exposed there. Water, he's in full control though. The upgrades are already in for the men-at-arms. Veterancy for the Gilded Archers coming through in a few moments here. The villagers are getting idled off of the tree line, but there's no pressure on water side, so B doesn't get distracted and then caught. The villagers are being a bit greedy here instead of just running all the way back to the TC though. Wait, what? Alright, he says, if you hurt me, I hurt you more. Pushes on water again. At what point as Louis do you just stop building demo ships? Like, this is the thing. If it was still feudal and feudal, you could take that logic. You could assert that logic. But remember, when your opponent goes Castle Age, his Springle ships get 2 buffs. There's the Springle crew, and then there's the extra health. So more range, attack speed, and health. And you can't trade out 1 for 1. He just keeps retreating in time to do this as well. This bug, once someone has enough spirals, their opponents just can't use demos at all. You can, you just have to micro your demos wider. So it's like, it's another skill expression layer. And I know some people are like, well, that doesn't help the lower ranks. Like, it doesn't, I don't think it really matters as much for the low ranks. You know, if anything, it's probably going to feel more balanced at the low ranks because the interactions and low demo ship numbers. If they get to the size of like 12 demo ships, they were always going to scramble at one way or the other. At the highest level, it just means you have to finesse how you use demos. Higher APM reward, right? Split them up into groups of 4 instead of groups of 1 or 2. Loom T, what am I seeing? A Kingdom of Castile. A surprising affair developing in the Empire of the Templars. Meanwhile, on the gold, they're in trouble. Gilded Archers with the dive in. Men-at-Arms as well. Lou MT might struggle to hold on here. Meanwhile, on the water side, the demo's not going to be able to make it through, and he actually just calls it there. GG comes out. I think he was maybe getting caught out on the gold as well. He done it. B has done the unthinkable. He has beaten Knights Templar on water, and he does it against one of Age of Empires 4's finest to make it all that much more impressive. Let me know what you think about this one, guys. If you're low rank, mid rank, let us know. Like, don't feel ashamed to let us know your rank. Let me know what your rank is, and let me know if you would like to see this type of change, because I want to try to massage the devs into this. I think this demo ship change adds a lot more to track, but a lot more risk and reward to the interaction, which, in my humble opinion, is an overall improvement. I'll catch you in the next one.